Today we continue with our Sunday series titled Sacred Abundance. Last week we discussed that sacred abundance is about recognizing that there is only one source of all, which is found in the spiritual. We all have different names for that source. It could be divine mind or sweet spirit, God, infinite process, whatever your name is. It's really all not that important. Because what is important is that you know that you are always one with that source. This sacred abundance is invisible substance in the spirit, but it has infinite capacity of expansion when held in mind, affirmed, and appreciated. So we began our Sacred Abundance series focusing on setting priorities with our spiritual journey, setting priorities with the divine, with gratitude and guidance. And to assist you in doing that, in making your spiritual journey your priority, I made a crazy offer last week. Monday through Friday, I would meet you on Facebook at 7 a.m. I am not a morning person. That was a one-time offer, trust me. Okay. So Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., 7 to 7:30, we met on Facebook, and we got centered in our truth. And we made a commitment to not just say, hey, I'm on a spiritual journey, but to actually live that. To decide how we were going to show up in the world that day. How we were going to open our minds and our hearts to sacred abundance. What was our intention for that day? To be peace, to be love, to be joy, to be compassionate. And so I thank all of you for joining me last week. And while I do always begin my day with prayer and silence, I don't always consciously decide how I'm going to show up that day. To really make that conscious decision and commitment. So for me, taking the time with awareness really changed how I went through my week. Now here's a rhetorical question. Don't raise your hand. In the past week, did you take time to set your spiritual priorities by entering into a daily dance with the divine? Were you open to divine guidance and then practice giving and receiving? Did you dwell in the flow of sacred abundance? Certainly, we all want more in our lives. We all want sacred abundance. Yet, we place obstacles in the way. We close the door, we shut the windows, and then wonder why we are not being infilled with sacred abundance. There is a divine flow in the universe, and every part of us desires to be swimming in that sweet, lovely, universal flow. And yet, somehow, we become stuck in stagnant water. We are stuck exactly where we say we don't want to be. And yet, we resist making changes. We resist changing the very thing that is keeping us stuck. If we desire to embrace sacred abundance, we must let go of some old, worn-out ideas that no longer serve us or the world. We can't possibly float, let alone swim, in the divine flow of sacred abundance unless we let go of those ideas that limit us, those beliefs that there isn't enough or that we're not enough. Now is the time to be very alert, very conscious of our thoughts and our reactions. So here's an interesting situation to consider. You're holding a cup of coffee. When someone comes along and bumps into you, shakes your arm, making you spill your coffee everywhere. Why did you spill your coffee? Why did you spill your coffee? Now, if your answer is because someone bumped into me, it's the wrong answer. Sorry. You spilled the coffee because there was coffee in your cup. If there was tea in your cup, you would have spilled the tea, right? Whatever is inside the cup is what will spill out. So when life comes along and shakes you, bumps into you, which will happen, whatever is inside you will come out. It's easy to say we're all types of spiritual. I'm on a spiritual journey. Until you get rattled, until you get bumped. Yeah. So we have to ask ourselves, what's in our cup? When life gets tough, when we get triggered, what spills out? Is it joy, gratitude, love, peace, mercy, forgiveness? Or will it be anger, bitterness, victim thinking, lack thinking, blaming, revenge? Life provides the cup. You choose how to fill it. Life provides the cup. You choose how to fill it. So today, let's work towards filling our cup with forgiveness in the form of grace and mercy. Grace and mercy. Certainly, we've all heard those words before, but what do they really mean, and how can we express them in our lives today? The words themselves can even sound a bit old-fashioned, but they really are divine ideas that can transform you when your cup is shaken. Now, during Lent, we talked about forgiveness. And often we hear people say, well, I forgive, but I don't forget. Right? You ever hear that? Sure. Well, in that state of consciousness, they are still very much attached to what happened. They are in bondage to what happened. And certainly human beings all want to feel safe. We then become very watchful to ensure that doesn't happen again. And the best example is in dating, right? The last person you dated, or your ex, did this. That person did this. And now every possible new partner is looked at through those eyes that scrutinize every word and action of this new person in light of the old person, the previous person. Not many doors or windows are open to sacred abundance at that point. Instead, The person is stuck in the mud of the past. There is no inflow, there's no outflow of the universal flow. There is only stagnation. However, I don't even think it's up to us to forgive someone else. But it is up to us to release them, especially from our thoughts. So we let them go. We extend grace and mercy. And now there's the possibility of both of us being free. But what is grace? What are we extending? The author, Annie Lamott, wrote, "Sometimes grace works like water wings when we feel we are sinking. Although I wish that grace were more like an abracadabra type of thing. And that there would be silver bells, delicate silver bells, that would ring to announce grace's arrival. But no, it's in the silence, it's in the dark. I do not understand the mystery of grace, only that it meets us where we are and does not leave us where it found us. Grace meets us where we are and does not leave us where it found us." Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore wrote, "Through the grace of God, I forgive and am forgiven." He also wrote that grace is goodwill. It's the disposition to show mercy. Grace is from God in the process of regeneration. Now, there's a fancy word, right? God in the process of regeneration. And what that means is God assisting us in evolving to a higher consciousness. Not in that same consciousness that has us stuck in the mud, but raising up our consciousness. And even in the definition of grace that he gives, he uses the word mercy. Grace and mercy. Mr. Fillmore wrote that mercy is a Christ-like treatment toward the suffering. The important point in desiring to be merciful is righteous adjustment, as this results in true overcoming. Righteous adjustment. Well, it means getting out of your ego or limited thinking and see the world, yourself, and all others through the eyes of the Christ, of the divine. For me, these two words go together like peanut butter and jelly. They're perfect together. Grace and mercy. Grace comes from the one source of all. It can flow to, through, and as us, as we desire to release. Remember, he said release suffering. Who's suffering? My suffering, your suffering. To release our suffering and desire to shift into a higher state of consciousness. Divine grace does not hold us accountable for every stray thought, word, and action. Thank you, God. Yes. Grace gives us a lot of leeway to make things right within ourselves and within our world. God, or the universe, sweet spirit, does not keep score. There isn't this big book. Oh, look what they thought about that person. That was not nice. Let me keep score of that. No, that does not happen. Instead, we are given grace and mercy so we can set ourselves free and pay it forward. We can pay it forward. In giving ourselves and others grace and mercy, we open the doors and the windows, and once again, we are effortlessly swimming in the flow of the universe in sacred abundance. Grace and mercy meets us where we are, being triggered when someone bumps into us or responds to meanness to our nice Facebook post, or when someone reminds us, that reminds me of my ex, or when someone truly hurts us. We can extend grace to ourselves and then to the other person, all without them even knowing. In this blessing, we can release and let go, and we can affirm that they will find forgiveness. We extend grace and mercy to them and to ourselves. So, how does this work? How do we actually use this? So right now, let's try our hands at the spiritual practice of grace and mercy. I'm going to ask you, if you have anything in your hands or on your lap, just to put them aside and to take a deep breath, this slow breath in and release, and just relax. I invite you to lower or close your eyes wherever you feel comfortable, and just to continue breathing. Bring to mind something that you said or did that is still kind of cringeworthy for you. Could have happened yesterday, could have happened 10 years ago. Not a big thing, but just a reaction that when what you did when someone bumped your arm, and when you reacted in thought, word, or action, but perhaps not in the most kind or loving way. Bring that to mind. Don't dwell in the story, just bring it to mind and breathe. Now say to yourself, I extend to me grace and mercy. I extend to me grace and mercy. And now it is time for me to let go of that memory. Allow yourself to feel that divine grace and mercy welling up within you. It is now time to release that memory. I am now free. And breathe, remaining in this state of consciousness with your eyes closed or lowered and breathing. Now, bring to mind someone who bumped your arm. Someone who did or said something that hurt you, that caused you distress, suffering. Just bring that person to mind, not the whole story. Don't replay the whole story. Just bring that person to mind. Breathe. Now say to yourself, may this person, may they find forgiveness. And may they experience God's grace and mercy. Breathe. We are both free. Breathe. Now see yourself swimming in the flow of the universe. See yourself adorned with sacred abundance. You have embraced grace, mercy, and forgiveness for yourself and that other person. Take a deep breath in and slowly release. Breathe with a smile on your face. Open your eyes and come back here. Now there's one more thing to do, but you all have to look at me. You're going to raise your hand. Everybody, let me see, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Come on, don't be shy. You're going to turn it around, face you. Give yourself a pat in the back. Good job. Good job. Yeah. Now, at any time, you can repeat this practice of grace and mercy. This is the day that spiritual law has made. This is the day that you have been set free through grace and mercy. This is the day to rejoice, for you have come to the realization that sacred abundance desires to abide within you. And so it is. Go forth with your cup being filled with grace, mercy, and sacred abundance. And now we're going to have our prayer chaplain dedication.